Welcome. I'm Miss Jill, and this is In the Know. Tonight, we do have a special guest with us. Other than that, it's just Dr. V and myself. So let's get right into it. First and foremost, as we talked about last week, all month we're going to be focused on education. Tomorrow at 8:30, we are speaking on teachers. That will be a very good show, very interesting. So just to remind you to stick with us for tomorrow evening as well. So with us, we have Mr. Ayers. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
Glad to have you.
Hey, how you doing?
Familiar face in the community.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
If you are not familiar with Mr. Ayers, can you tell us a little bit, introduce yourself, and briefly tell us a little about who you are?
Okay, my name is Joe Ayers. I'm president and CEO of Ayers Community Outreach. It's a nonprofit organization that does different community events to uplift our families in our community.
How'd you get into that?
Well, it started with my mom growing up. You
Okay.
know, we understood how our community helped each other. You know, my mother always was helping people. People want a cup of sugar or an egg, and I couldn't understand why our mother was kept on giving people these things, but we needed it ourselves. And she taught us that you never know when it's going to be you.
So she
Yeah.
was participating in the village.
Yeah, all the time.
Mhm.
A lot of family was. You know, they take care of families. That's how we grew up.
Do you feel like it's still like that with the village?
Yes, I think it is with the village as far as maybe some of the elders are still doing it, but this young generation still has to learn how to give
Yeah.
back. I think it's still a learning process for them.
Yeah, well,
Wait, before
yeah.
you leave that, when you say the young people need to learn that, how do you think we should teach them?
Well, I think and I fought our generation
Okay.
actually before not sharing what was given to us,
yeah.
and I think that's where we lacked at. And when we say teach them, I think we had, and that's what this event is about: is the community coming out and showing them how we come together. That's one of the
Okay.
tools of this. But for individually, I think when you see one of these young people, ask them how they doing.
That's right.
What
Yeah.
are you doing? You know, don't let the sagging pants scare you.
Yeah.
Don't let the tattoos scare you because they are hurting and they
Yeah.
are, in distress. So, and sometimes they be like, "Hey, I'm good, old school,"
That's
and,
right.
and that opens the conversation.
And I was going to say, and so what you're saying is make time
Right.
Yeah.
to actually have a conversation with
Right.
the young people.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then you can share some knowledge
Yeah.
and wisdom.
Yes,
Right.
Yeah.
yes. And
I
that could
agree
be at the
with that.
gas station, at the grocery store,
Mhm.
anywhere because there's so much violence going on. You don't know really what their emotional mind is at.
That's
at
right.
that time.
Yeah, I agree. And I think, like you said, no matter what is going on in that young person's life, they are still worthy of mentorship.
Yeah.
You mentioned, saggy, this, that. No matter what track you are on in your
Right.
youth or even as an adult, we are all worthy of having that mentor.
Yeah.
Super important.
Yeah.
So you briefly touched on an event. I'm going to introduce that event, and then I want you to tell us about it.
Okay.
And for the first event, I would like for you to get into a little bit about what this event is honoring. So this event is the 12th annual Summit City Community Festival. Tell us a little bit about it. When is it? Where is it?
Okay. This is the 12th annual Summit City Community Festival here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. It will be this Saturday in Macmillan Park.
Okay.
And this is a festival that was given to me when I retired 12 years ago as to where I was always working in the community, but at that time I wanted to do something a little bit more different.
Okay.
And my reason for the mission is to bring gospel choirs out to the community from different churches.
Okay.
Because the churches are so divided sometimes.
Mhm.
So I feel like if I could bring out 6 different churches, then all the 6 different members and the pastor going to come out and praise and worship together.
If we don't talk about that all the time,
Yeah.
all the
Yeah,
time,
and
that's
that's been the total mission. Every year I have about 5 or 6 different, maybe 7 different churches out there. And so then that means that other churches will be able to see other church members praise and worship
Yeah.
that they don't get a chance to see on a normal basis because of church cliques.
And I like
Yes.
to say see, but also enjoy and
Enjoy.
worship with them.
Yes.
So we talk about fellowship. So
Yes.
this is an event for us to actually have like
Fellowship. Mega fellowship.
fellowship
Mega
together.
fellowship. But,
Yes.
I don't care if we got one person in your church. I don't care if your church is in the basement.
Mm.
Still come out there and praise and worship because we're trying to praise our community, trying to heal our community through praise.
So let's say that I come to the event. When I walk in, what am I going to expect?
You're going to expect a lot of praise and worship. You're going to expect different cultures out there. You're going to expect different vendors out there having a good time. You might even see somebody you ain't seen in a while. You know, you might see somebody that's hurting. And then, but then they don't get a chance to go to church, but they still out there praising and worshiping because they still got the spirit in them. They just ain't been touched. You know?
Amen. Amen. And you talked a little bit about this being the 12th.
Yes.
Have all of these been, have you been involved in all of these?
Yes. Every last
In
one.
every single one?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And are they all normally local?
Yes, ma'am. Well, I have went to Lima, Ohio, and did one. You know, I was trying to branch out, which I still am trying to branch out to other communities, you know, with this event. Because I also do clothing drives. I collect clothes and I give them away to the community. So I'm trying to branch that out throughout Indiana. Yeah.
I was just getting ready to ask you to go into more detail about what people really would, expect and will see, because there's other things going on, and you just mentioned
Yeah, the clothing.
so the clothing drive. So what prompted that, and was the name of the festival
Before
the community? Right. So I
Okay,
want you to go all the
I'm
way
gonna go all
back
the way
to
back
the
to the
beginning,
okay.
and then bring us up to the clothing drive.
Okay, when I first decided to do this, I knew I was going to retire. And you know, because I've been on both tracks of the world, you know what I'm saying? You know, trying to run the streets and do this and do that. But then when I felt like, you know, I had to learn how to forgive myself because I was so worried about forgiving everybody, or they, you know, I need your forgiveness, and I still had that cloud over my head. So I learned that by forgiving myself, which is amnesty. When God forgive you totally, that's amnesty. You know, because He don't care what you done. That's just like if you go to another country and you ask for amnesty, they don't care about what you murdered or what drugs you used. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna give you amnesty, and that's what God did. So when I thought about that. So then I felt like, well, if I give myself amnesty and God give me amnesty, then I'm able to get delivered. You know, so then that's why I named the festival in the beginning was Amnesty and Deliverance. You know, to be able to let people know that you have to give yourself forgiveness to be able to get delivered. You know, be not worried about who's going to forgive you because they're going to forgive you with conditions.
So there's a deeper, are all the festivals when you choose the title, like for example, that came from a deep
Place.
meaning, a very deep place that took a minute to get to. Are all of the festivals, do they all have some kind of a deep meaning?
Yes.
That you have created from mostly past experiences, maybe?
Yes. What I do, I allow God to give me a vision.
Okay.
Okay. And then every year, like 1 year, I honor the troops, you know, when we was having the Iraq war. Then 1 year, I honor the people that we lost to COVID, you know, because people didn't understand COVID. So like this year, you know, then 1 year I honored the teachers, you know, try to give them praise and worship, you know. And just every year, you know, I allow God to pick a subject that I know that's going to touch the community in some kind of way.
Right.
So before you leave that, and just so that everybody's clear, so even though you may have a different theme, traditionally the name of the Joe Ayers Festival is what?
It's about healing. It's
Right.
about healing and education.
So the Healing and Educational Festival.
Yes.
The theme this year is
It's time to heal.
all right. So
It's time to heal. So I came up with that title because by me going through my experience.
exactly, and we're gonna get to that. But I just want to make sure. So as we're journeying with you, so the name.
You give me now.
Okay, so the name started out the
Amnesty
and Deliverance,
Community Festival.
and then somewhere did you drop Amnesty and Deliverance off?
Because it was confusing to the sponsors. Because they was asking me, well, is this a religious thing or is it a political thing? And then I was getting phone calls, you know, are you a radio station? Because, you know, it was Ayers Communications. That's why I had to change the name to Ayers Community Outreach.
Okay.
Because it wasn't signifying what the festival and what the business represented. So God gave me a title of Ayers Community Outreach. You know, because that's what we do. We outreach in the community.
That's right.
And Summit City Community Festival is for the whole city.
All right, and that's why I want to make sure.
Yeah.
Because that matters.
Yes, it
To
does.
some people that's going to support the event, and you know, we hate to think this,
Yeah.
but sometimes when you say religion or
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
automatically
They back up.
they
You're
do.
absolutely right.
They
You're
do.
absolutely
We
right.
haven't really understood the word unity and what that means. That you can still be your individual self, believe what you believe as an individual, but we can still come together.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and show love to our community. And so a lot of people have a problem with that. But I wanted to
Yeah.
put that out there
Yeah.
because I thought that was amazing when you first came out with that.
Yes, yes,
And nobody was doing anything like that.
yes, yes.
And so I didn't want to water down
No,
the beginning.
But you made a good point too about the religious part, because that's why I don't try to title it as a religious event, even though it's
Right.
all praise and worship.
Yes.
But I would title it as a community
Yes.
event.
I love
You know
it.
what I'm saying? And then at the same time, you be able to get, we still have some other little, or not little, but we have other events going on during that day for us artists go, but no
Okay.
R&B, no blues, it's all gospel because we need that healing time.
And it's okay to have a festival like
Yeah,
that during the
yeah.
year.
We need
I'm
it.
just
We
saying
need
we
it.
don't
Absolutely.
we always have that.
Yeah, you need it.
I was looking at the flyer for this event earlier, and it is a beautiful flyer. So I want to see if you could kind of hold up the smaller version so we can get a shot of that. And you'll notice that there are some people
Yeah.
on the flyer, some beautiful people, beautiful pictures. Tell us a little bit about the photos.
Well, this is really, really special because as I would start every year, as I was doing this and coming up with the idea of doing this festival, a lot of people, we have lost a lot of people with COVID. We have lost of people through violence. We have lost a lot of people through illness, health, and stuff like that. So, and I realized even with my own grief that a lot of times you feel alone. And so we want to honor these people. We want to honor these people to be able to let the families know, look, we understand. We support your loss. And it's time to heal, but you got to understand the healing process. Then, and this person here, one is my mother, was Celeste Pye Ayers, and one of is Dietrich Holt, Trent Holt's brother, who passed away from cancer. And also, too, this young man, Johnny Yates, he got passed away from violence in our community. And Naomi Leanne Lyman Turner, this baby, her mother took her to the hospital, and she was sick and never came back home. And she was only, I think, 6 years old at the time. And there's a brother here, Daquan Merriweather, passed away from violence. And then Miss J, she was a community activist here for Park and Recreation, and she passed away from illness, health illness. But at the same time, what this kind of, and what's surprising, I get chills because I've been getting calls for the last 2 weeks. Can you honor my mother? Can you honor my dad? Because a lot of times people, they feel left out, they're left alone.
Yeah, they feel forgotten.
Feel forgotten,
Yeah.
because I feel like that. And that's why I say, and a lot of people don't know how to heal. How to let go. It's not letting go, it's just understanding that healing is a lifetime process.
Right.
That's so good.
Yeah.
And when you say that, sometimes like now we're talking about mental illness and
Yes.
different things with
Grief.
mental health,
Yeah.
but a lot of times it may not be that far. It could be just loneliness
Yes.
and feeling forgotten.
Yeah, I mean, I had my mother for 60 years, and now she's not in my life.
Yeah.
And then I people always tell me better appreciate your mom while she's here,
Yeah.
and I understood it, but I understand it even more now.
Exactly.
Yes.
You know
Absolutely.
what I'm saying? And with this festival, I get chills to think about it because understanding grief is a mental illness that cannot be taught how to recover from.
That's right.
Can nobody teach you how
Right.
to grieve?
And they can't put a
You
timeline on
can't
it,
put a
can
time
they?
on it. It's a process.
Yes.
But you got to take that process and understand the process.
Yes.
'Cause you might think you healed today. Next week, you might get a smell.
That's right.
You might get a
Absolutely.
thought.
Hear a song.
Hear a song.
That's right.
And it's going to come right back on you. So you got to know how to deal with that
Yeah.
healing.
That's
And
good.
that's what it's about.
Yes.
I think that first of all, I'm really glad you said all that.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna switch seats. No, I'm
Okay.
just kidding. No.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Hey, you're going to get me to start talking. I don't know if we got enough time.
Something you said is something you said, and I don't remember the exact words because I was writing my response afterwards. But it was something about people not wanting to acknowledge the healing or go through the process, and I feel like a lot of us even those of us who appear to have it all together, appearance, career, whatever, are walking around as if we're not broken. And myself included. And you mentioned mental illness. So just recently, I lost my fiance to suicide from mental illness. So that was June 1st was that anniversary. Then Sunday was his birthday. So you have to, like you said, I didn't accept it for a very long time. And then just recently I did. So this is the first year that on the anniversary of his passing, I smiled instead of cried, not because he's gone, but because I know he's at peace, and I know that because I am. And that came from him. So that I know. So thank you for saying that.
It's one thing I like to add to what you just said, because from my own grief and from my learning experience, and when I talk to people, I just give them suggestions. I don't tell them what to do, but I get them to understand the first part of it. And you said when you accept, when you get acceptance, that allows you to heal, to start the healing process, to accept that you're not going to be able to call them no more, accept the fact that you're not going to be able to see them no more, or, accept the fact that they are gone, and when you get to that point, and everybody got their own destiny, their own time with that. You might be 2 years, I might be 10 years.
That's right.
But when you get to that point of acceptance, it gets easier, not better.
Right.
It gets easier.
Absolutely.
You don't cry as much.
Right. And that is so true. So I just wanted to share that because it touched me.
That's true.
So something else you said. First of all, I just want to say that you're retired, but it sounds like you're not
working.
Second of all, you're probably going to be with us forever because God is never going to be done with you. You're permanent.
That's
because just all of this stuff, it's everything that we incorporate in everything that we talk about. Not just community, because a community with people in it that aren't doing what you're doing is never going to become one. So you encompass that, mental illness, teaching. I mean, all of this stuff that we talk about all the time. And to have this 12 years in a row, we're always talking about things that we don't follow through with, or we start it and then somebody else does it. So with that being said, do you feel like the community, as these events have gone on to year 1, year 5, 6, do you feel like the community involvement in the events has grown?
Oh, yes. And when you're doing the events or even businesses, you have to prove yourself. You don't have to be consistent. Because people don't want to, they support you 1 year, then you're gone. You're not trying to live up to what your expectation is to give back to the community. You might have, everybody's different. Some people's not, I don't call it failure, it's just when they time.
For sure.
But as years go on and you stay consistent and you stay true to the community, because they're watching you, they're listening to you, they're looking at you, and they say they're judging you to see are you really true to the game? Are you living, nobody's perfect, but are you really living what you're trying to bring to the community?
And they're watching from the bench, though. We're out there doing all the
distance.
Yep.
Yeah, they're watching from the distance.
You have another event as well.
Yes.
And tell us a little bit about that. What is that event?
Okay, that is Men Fighting for Health event. Okay, I do that every second Wednesday. I've been doing it at different locations for the last 6 years. I started out at the library, and then I went to Victory Worship Center Church, and then I went to Family Life Center Progressive Baptist Church, then I went to the Urban League, then I went to Indiana Black Expo. Now I'm at the Impact Center at New Covenant Church now. And we do this every second Wednesday. And that came about, because of the healing I went through.
Okay.
I'm a 2-time cancer survivor. Okay. The first cancer was 12 years ago, about 12 years ago. And I was having a pain in my hip, and the VA here they didn't have the injection department here, so they had to send me to Indianapolis. And when I went to Indianapolis, and as I was going through the MRI machine, the X-ray technician seen something abnormal on my appendix. Thank you. And it was, they said, well, Joe, we got to take your appendix. I'm like, man, you can have that thing. I don't need it no more. So when they took it and everything, when they called me, they said, look, I'm going to be just 100% with you. You need to have a seat. I'm like, okay. And they said, well, what we found on your appendix was the size of a tangerine, and it was cancer. It was carcinoma cancer.
Mm.
There's no treatment. There's no medication for it. There's nothing we could do for it but keep an eye on it. And then when I went back down there, they had to take some more of the colon out because they said this cancer runs like a spider web through your colon. So they got to take some more of the colon out. And the doctor had told me, he said, well, Joe, I'm going to be honest with you. With this right here, most people, they live about 6 years. He said, but if you had to came down here, you would have been dead in 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And so I like, okay, I wasn't stressing. I like, okay, God, I'm just going to give it to you. And so after the 5th year, they called me, okay, Joe, we done with you. You know, you did good. You know, you ain't got to come back. I'm like, cool, God, thank you. 30 days later, Joe, you got prostate cancer.
Mm.
And I was at that time, I was taking care of my mom because she was terminally ill, so I'm stressing. So but prostate cancer is different, you know, because you got so many different treatments that you have to decide to get. And once you make that decision, you can't turn back. And everybody is different. Everybody's prostate treatment is different. They react to it different. So I just asked God to let me live long enough to finish taking care of my mom. And so when she passed away, then I went to Indianapolis, to Indiana University, and I got what they call cryotherapy, which is freezing the prostate out.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what made me decide to do this right here because of the men's health meeting was because the anxiety I went through. And I know a lot of men walking on this earth going through the same thing.
Mm.
They're not understanding prostate cancer. They don't know what to go get and do to help stuff. So that's why I started.
And thank you for sharing.
I mean, there's a long story. I tried to shorten it.
No,
Yeah.
it was a perfect story.
Mm-hmm.
So something that you did say that I just want to point out, you're talking about men, but I just want to say for everyone, you said you were having some pain and you knew something was wrong. So at that point, you listened to your body.
Yes.
Between God and you saying, okay, I'm getting the signal, I'm going to go.
Yeah.
Had you not got the signal, you wouldn't have been through the machine. They wouldn't have. So it's like, no, I don't think we could ever say that was supposed to happen to you. But the fact that it went like that is nothing but God.
Yeah. Because that's what we teach at these meetings is that we try to tell men, if you got a headache, you've been having a headache for 3 days straight, go get a CAT scan. You know, when you go to the doctor, they check your heart rate, they check your lungs. Hey, give me an MRI, give me a CAT scan, find out what's going on the inside of my body. You know what I'm saying? Don't just be trying to see the skeleton part.
Yeah.
You know, touch my heart. You know, because that's what a lot of people, they have kidney failure, liver failure. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of stuff going on inside your body you need to find out.
Prior to that, the first scare, were you somebody who kept up on your doctor appointments? Were you?
Yep.
So you were always that, like it didn't take something major to make you say, I'm going to start doing it. You were already.
Well, I just took advice of other people. I didn't even know what a PSA was. I just knew I had to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just knew, well, Joe, you got to do it. So I would just make sure when I went to the doctor, make sure you do my PSA. That's how they found out as the cancer was growing.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But then that's how you find out after you get your treatment to see if it's come back.
Because that's some kind of a count or something,
it's a
correct?
count
For
of
men?
blood.
Okay.
Yeah, for men, yes.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It's
Wow.
It's something.
What would you, if you could, you said that the second event, let's go back to the second one because I forgot something. Yes, I forgot something that was important. Is this for, I mean, father, son, you know, do you have men who bring their kids, their boys?
Well, what has happened, men was coming to the meeting and they get the information they need and then sometimes they don't come back because they find out what they need.
Okay.
So, but now what Zoom has done so much for us in live Facebook, we'll get 400 people viewing it more so than people coming out in person.
Right.
You know, because they look at the Zoom or they look at the live and they could go back to Facebook and get the information
For sure.
that they need.
But it's the same difference, right? You just
the
care
same.
about them getting information. That's the
getting
main
information.
point.
Because we have doctors that come out there to give the proper information.
Okay, so would you say it's better to be there in person because they can get some hands-on examinations during that particular event?
Right.
So that's the difference in that. And
But the big thing is a lot of people still got that COVID scare. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to be in a closed room.
Okay.
But what I love about this men's health meeting is that We have doctors within our community that give up their time
Okay.
to become a doctor coach. And now we got Dr. Justin McGee. McGee coming out there this tomorrow. You know, we had a couple other doctors that came, and it's just so awesome that these doctors give up their time and working all day and still come out there and give out some information to our community.
That is, and sharing knowledge,
Yeah.
which is
And-
so necessary.
And it's for women too.
Yep.
It's for women too, because if you got a mate or you got a father,
Yeah.
and then
son.
or
Yep.
a son,
Yep.
Exactly.
and you want to know what that man is going through, you know, and to be able to give that information to that man. Or, you know, I tell men all the time, take your wife to the doctor with you, because they're going to ask the right questions.
My mom does not let my
good.
dad go to the doctor by himself.
Right, yes.
What'd they say? I don't know.
Yeah.
So,
That's good.
yeah. Go ahead.
Before you let him go,
Yeah.
So you mentioned the clothing, and I didn't want
Yeah.
people to miss
Yeah.
because we want to know, who are the clothes for?
The clothes is for anybody in the community, men, women, kids, babies. These clothes are donated from our families in our community.
Okay.
And then we give them back to families that are in need of clothes. So anybody that want clothes, need clothes, schools just started.
Yeah.
We got.
You have baby clothes
I
too?
got baby clothes. I got kids clothes, shoes. I mean, right now I'm trying to get rid of all the summer clothes so I can start working on my winter clothes.
Okay.
You know, and I'm so grateful for our community, because we was able to take some clothes to the people that had the Ida hurricane. Hurricane.
Yeah.
Now I'm working on taking some clothes to Mississippi
Okay.
for the tornadoes.
Awesome. And that's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
Do you need anything from the community?
Right.
Do you
Yeah.
need
Right.
us to do anything?
Yes, we need more clothes. You know,
Okay.
any shoes, coats, hats. As long as it's clean and everything like that, then we'll take it.
Clothes, do you need any money?
I definitely need some money. No, I definitely need some money. Anybody want to donate anything, you can give me a call at 260-348-6080 anytime, and donations are work. But before I go, I want to thank Shrek Family Foundation and Joe Jordan. I want to thank the Bowen Center. I want to thank Indiana Tech for all their support, you know, this year to make sure this happened. You know, and we do have people that do care about our community.
I was going to say, it looked like you have a lot of
Well,
sponsors.
a lot of these here, I sponsor them.
That's awesome.
You know, we do the barter system. A lot of people got to understand the barter system.
Yeah, you don't have to teach
Yeah.
that to us one of these days.
You get something for something. You know what I mean?
I like that.
I've been doing that when we were doing the fashion show back in the barter system.
Okay, so I'm just saying that's what the community,
Yeah.
that's it.
The barter system ain't went away.
Okay.
I have one more
Okay.
event to mention.
Okay.
This is actually part 2 of, I believe, a 4-part event, and this is put on by Our Neutral Voices, partnering with Brightpoint. And this is, I was actually at the first seminar, and like I said, there are 4 parts. This is going to be about finance. I think the next one, I don't exactly know what the title, I can't remember the title, but every single seminar is about finance. They're going to talk about credit. They're going to talk about opening bank accounts, things that are super important, and it is a free event. So we do ask that you pre-register, and I will make sure we share our flyer again on Facebook. The information is on there. Very, very good information. The woman from Brightpoint, what is her? That slipped me. Anyway, she's Misty? Mindy, okay. Mindy shared good information with us last time, and she is going to continue to do so. She said, and I quote, on a level that everybody will understand. So wanted to bring that up. Yes.
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to Neutral Voices too, because what y'all do, you know, here in our community to make sure that information that gets out that sometimes people don't get a chance to hear, or you know, stuff like that. Y'all been doing it for about 5 years, now, 5, 6 years.
It's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a minute, and a lot of people have to continue to connect with you, you know, because y'all do
Thank you.
awesome job that y'all the only one doing it.
Thank you. We appreciate it. We just
Y'all
trying to
know
make
what we're
we just trying to make
No,
our community
y'all keep
voices
it
louder.
100. You keep it 100. That's
Yes,
what it's
we do.
about.
That's
You
right.
you have to keep it 100.
Yes.
And y'all do that very well.
I'm going to keep it
Thank you.
103 and
Okay.
say thank you for
Thank you very
being
much.
the wonderful person. Really,
Yes.
Yeah.
really.
That's right.
Thank you.
Thank you for being the wonderful person that you are. And not just that, but for sharing your story with us. I know that's not, something that we go out and
Just
tell
talk about it.
everybody,
No.
but sometimes we want to get deep and know what inspired you, because most people out there have that deep inside of them, but it's just not there. So it's not right. Something has to bring it out. So we want to thank you.
Thank you so much.
We want to thank you. Would you like to lead us out of here and with some special words? You want to close out?
Well, I just
Put you on the
thank
spot?
Fort Wayne. I just want to thank Fort Wayne for 12 years of support.
Okay.
You know, I couldn't do this by myself. It's not about me. I took myself out the equation many years ago. It's about the community, about Mr. Lopez with the music. He brings his music out for the last. George Eldridge. There's a lot of people behind the scenes that really have been making this possible. You
Awesome.
know, it's bigger than me.
Awesome.
You know, so I want to thank all those people. If I missed anybody, I apologize. But and for the clothing drive, all the volunteers that come out there, you know, to help sort the clothes out, pass out the clothes to the people. I love y'all. Thank you very much.
Awesome. I know we don't help people for recognition, but so often the people who are definitely earning their flowers should, you know. So the community shout outs are incredible.
And we give scholarships out too. I forgot about that.
Oh, that's important.
That is.
That is
we giving scholarships out for this right here. We're giving scholarships out that's honoring these loved ones. We're giving out 3 scholarships that was donated. One by Trent Hall and his brother, and 2 of them donated by Dr. Alan McGee. These people here are young people that's going to the next level in their life. And by giving them this stipend money to be able to take care of some of their responsibilities, and these people have donated just to make sure that they give back to our young people. And I want to thank Dr. Alan McGee for doing so much in our community.
Wow, nice.
You know what I'm saying? He's been doing it for years.
That's good.
Yes, thank you very much.
Good to know, because sometimes you always hear the same names.
Yeah.
You know, as far as community support. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, it's a lot of people doing some stuff behind the scenes.
Perfect. Amen.
Yeah, amen.
So thank you for being with us, and we will see you tomorrow.
Yep, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome.